To truly understand the ancient Greeks, you must first look at their land, a place of dazzling sunlight, deep blue seas, and rugged, dramatic mountains. The landscape of Greece is striking, almost theatrical, with its sharp contrasts and breathtaking vistas. The interplay of light and shadow on the hillsides, the endless horizon of the sea, and the rocky terrain all played a role in shaping the people who lived there. Unlike the broad, open plains of other ancient civilizations, Greece is a land divided by the formidable Pindus Mountains. These mountains slice through the country, creating a patchwork of isolated valleys and small pockets of fertile land. Each valley was like a world of its own, separated from its neighbors by steep ridges and rocky outcrops. This challenging geography made large-scale unification nearly impossible, encouraging fierce independence and a strong sense of local identity among the people. Each community developed its own way of life, proud of its uniqueness and wary of outsiders. Travel between these communities was difficult and often dangerous. The mountains acted as natural barriers, so people rarely ventured far from home. Over time, each group developed its own customs, laws, and even distinct dialects, further deepening the sense of separation. These isolated groups eventually grew into the famous city-states or polis, such as Athens, Sparta, and Corinth. Each city-state was fiercely proud, often suspicious or even hostile toward its neighbors, and determined to maintain its independence. The constant competition between these city-states sparked not only conflict and rivalry, but also remarkable innovation. The Greeks became skilled warriors, inventors, and thinkers, always striving to outdo one another. Yet, while the mountains divided the land, the sea did the opposite. It united the people. The Aegean Sea, dotted with countless islands, became a natural highway, connecting distant communities and opening up new possibilities. Greece's long, intricate coastline and its many islands made the sea a vital part of daily life. Instead of being a barrier, the water became a bridge, linking the Greeks to each other and to the wider world. The Greeks became master sailors and traders, venturing far beyond their homeland. They established trade routes with Egypt, Asia Minor, and distant lands, exchanging goods, stories, and ideas. Maritime life brought a constant flow of new ideas, technologies, and goods, enriching Greek society and fueling its growth. The sea was a source of adventure, opportunity, and connection. In the end, it was the land that shaped the Greeks. Mountains bred independence and self-reliance, while the sea inspired adventure, curiosity, and connection with the world beyond. This unique tension between isolation and connection became the driving force behind Greek creativity, innovation, and even their legendary conflicts. It was a land that demanded resilience and rewarded ingenuity. Understanding this interplay is the key to seeing how scattered, independent communities could come together to create a civilization that would leave an indelible mark on history and change the world forever. In the story of the Greeks, it all begins and ends with the land itself. Before history or philosophy, the Greeks told stories, myths that explained the world and human nature. At the center were the Olympian gods, powerful, flawed, and deeply human, led by Zeus atop Mount Olympus. These gods loved, fought, and meddled in human affairs, making myths a shared language across all Greek communities. Alongside them were heroes, half-divine figures like Heracles, Achilles, and Odysseus, whose adventures taught lessons about courage, honor, and fate. Myths shaped religion, art, and daily life, binding Greeks together despite their differences. Festivals, temples, and plays all drew from these stories, giving the Greeks a common identity. For the Greeks, myth and reality were inseparable, fueling their creativity for centuries. These stories were the glue that held their fragmented world together. Long before the rise of Athens and the glory of classical Greece, two remarkable civilizations flourished in the Aegean world, the Minoans and the Mycenaeans. These ancient peoples laid the foundations for much of what would become Greek culture, shaping the myths, art, and traditions that still echo through history. The Minoans, centered on the island of Crete, built sprawling, maze-like palaces such as Knossos. Their society thrived on vibrant trade networks, exquisite art, and a mysterious script known as Linear A, which remains undeciphered to this day. Minoan palaces were centers of administration, religion, and culture, filled with colorful frescoes and intricate architecture. The Minoans were a peaceful, seafaring people, deeply connected to nature and the sea. Their influence spread across the Mediterranean, inspiring neighboring cultures with their advanced craftsmanship, elegant pottery, and love of beauty. In contrast, the Mycenaeans, who lived on the Greek mainland, were a more warlike people. They spoke an early form of Greek and ruled from heavily fortified citadels like Mycenae, protected by massive stone walls and legendary gates. The world of the Mycenaeans is immortalized in the epic tales of Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey, stories of heroes, gods, and epic battles that have inspired generations. Mycenaean kings were buried with dazzling gold masks and powerful weapons, reflecting a society organized for war and conquest. Their tombs and treasures reveal a culture both rich and formidable. The Mycenaeans borrowed much from the Minoans, adapting their art and even their writing system. They developed Linear B, the earliest known form of Greek, used to record their language and keep track of their complex society. Eventually the Mycenaeans came to dominate the Aegean, even conquering Crete itself. But around 1200 BC, their world was shaken by catastrophe. Citadels fell, palaces burned, and the once great Mycenaean civilization collapsed into ruin. The mighty citadels were abandoned, their walls crumbling and tombs left empty as Greece plunged into a dark age of decline and uncertainty. Yet, the legacy of the Minoans and Mycenaeans endured. Their stories, language, and artistic achievements set the stage for the birth of classical Greece, influencing everything from mythology to architecture. The torch of civilization was passed on, and though their empires faded, the memory of these ancient peoples continues to inspire and fascinate us today. After the Mycenaean collapse, Greece entered the so-called Dark Ages, a time of decline but also transformation. Palaces and writing vanished, life became local and simple, with people living in scattered villages. Trade networks collapsed, and art became basic, focused on geometric designs, yet this era forged a new Greek society. Power shifted to local chieftains and ironworking spread, making tools and weapons more accessible. Greeks migrated east, settling in Ionia and spreading their culture. Oral storytelling thrived, with bards preserving tales of heroes and gods. These stories, passed down for generations, would later be written by Homer. The Dark Ages were not just an end, but a crucible for a new beginning. Out of hardship, the seeds of a new civilization were sown. The silence of these centuries would echo in the epic poetry that followed. Emerging from the Dark Ages, Greece developed the polis, independent city-states with their own laws, armies, and unique identities. Each polis was a world unto itself, fiercely proud, and often in competition with its neighbors. Out of the hundreds that arose, two stood above the rest, Athens and Sparta. These two city-states became the most powerful and influential, shaping the destiny of Greece for centuries. Athens, located in the region of Attica, symbolized intellectual and artistic brilliance. It was the birthplace of democracy, where male citizens gathered to debate, vote, and shape their own government directly, a radical idea for its time. This open society fostered creativity, debate, and innovation, making Athens a vibrant hub of philosophy, drama, and art. Great thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle walked its streets, and playwrights filled its theaters with new ideas. Its economy thrived on trade, supported by a powerful navy that dominated the Aegean Sea. The bustling Agora marketplace was the heart of commerce and daily life. Sparta in Laconia was the stark opposite, a militaristic society built on discipline, order, and control over its large helot population. Life in Sparta was harsh and focused on service to the state. Spartan boys entered rigorous military training at the age of 7, their individuality suppressed for the good of the collective. Every aspect of life was designed to produce the perfect soldier. Arts and philosophy were dismissed. Duty, strength, and obedience were everything. The city's values were embodied in its legendary warriors, feared across Greece. Sparta was ruled by 2 kings and a council of elders, ensuring stability and continuity in leadership. This unique system kept the city focused on its military mission. The rivalry between Athens and Sparta defined Greek history, as their opposing values and ambitions clashed again and again. Athens valued freedom, inquiry, and the pursuit of knowledge. Sparta valued order, discipline, and unwavering strength. Their opposing visions led to a series of conflicts, most famously the devastating Peloponnesian War, which would eventually engulf all of Greece. As ultimate rivals, Athens and Sparta shaped not only what a polis could be, but also the very identity of ancient Greece itself. Their epic clash would ultimately bring an end to Greece's golden age, leaving a legacy that still fascinates the world today. The 5th century BC was marked by 2 epic conflicts. First the Persian Wars, the vast Persian Empire invaded, but the Greeks, against all odds, united to defend their freedom. Athens' victory at Marathon and the Spartan stand at Thermopylae became legendary. The decisive blow came at sea, with Athens' navy defeating Persia at Salamis. These victories sparked Athens' golden age but also sowed discord. Athens formed the Delian League but soon dominated its allies, fueling resentment, especially from Sparta. The Peloponnesian War erupted, Athens and its allies versus Sparta and theirs. It was a brutal, decades-long civil war, naval raids, sieges, plagues, betrayals. Athens' defeat left Greece exhausted and divided. The Golden Age ended, and the city-states were left vulnerable. The wars showed both the heights and the limits of Greek unity. A new power was waiting in the wings. Despite war, Athens' golden age saw an explosion of creativity. Democracy, philosophy, and art flourished. Democracy gave ordinary citizens a voice, unleashing confidence and debate. Philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle used reason to explore justice, virtue, and the natural world, laying the foundation for Western thought. Art and architecture sought harmony and ideal beauty, seen in the Parthenon and statues like the discus thrower. Theater thrived, with tragedies and comedies exploring human nature and society. These achievements shaped not just Greece but the world. The spirit of inquiry and creativity defined the era. Athens became the model for what a city and a civilization could achieve. As the city-states weakened, Macedon rose under King Philip II, who united Greece with military genius. His son, Alexander the Great, tutored by Aristotle, launched a campaign that toppled the Persian Empire and reached India. Alexander founded cities, spread Greek culture, and encouraged a blend of East and West. His sudden death at 32 left his empire divided among his generals, birthing the Hellenistic Age. Greek language and ideas spread from the Mediterranean to Central Asia. Greek became the language of commerce and government. The city-states' independence faded, but Greek culture became global. Hellenism transformed from a local tradition to a world-shaping force. The stage was set for Rome, but the Greek legacy endured. A new era had begun, one shaped by Greek ideas. Why does ancient Greece still matter? Because its ideas are woven into our world. Democracy, philosophy, science, and art all have Greek roots. When you vote, debate, or seek knowledge, you echo the Greeks. Their spirit of inquiry and belief in reason shaped modern science and ethics. Greek myths, architecture, and theater still inspire our culture. They placed humanity at the center, exploring our potential and flaws. Their ideals, reason, freedom, excellence, remain powerful and relevant. The Greeks left us questions, inspiration, and a legacy that still challenges and inspires.